Usually, when people talk about destiny helpers, the first thing that comes to mind is a knight in shining armor that would ride in on a horse and carriage with unlimited resources and take all your problems away. Well, maybe not a horse and carriage, maybe a really nice car, but you get the concept. That's usually the assumption. When in reality, a destiny helper can actually be an evil, wicked person hiding a knife behind their back. Let me tell you a quick story. I used to have a friend. Let's call her Jane. Jane was absolutely beautiful. And when I say beautiful, I mean in and out. She had a heart of gold. She was Caucasian, and at the time, it was a while ago, and we lived in a small town. Jane was the ultimate dream girl. She had a certain kind of je ne sais quoi about her, and every man wanted to be with her. Every woman wanted to be her. So at the time, she was in a medical field, a scrub nurse, but she was wanting to be a surgeon. However, the cost of going to medical school and all the students' loans, she just could not afford it. And so she thought it was just a dream. However, she had a home and everything, which was hers. So one day she met a man of a different race, and she fell completely in love with him. However, he just wanted to secure his residency, so it was all business for him. They got married, and things just started to go a bit bad. Anyway, she stuck to it because she absolutely loved him, and he moved in with her, but it wasn't a big deal at the time. It was dependent on who had a more comfortable home and who had more resources, which she did at the time. So anyway, after about 2.5, 3 years, he got what he wanted from her and he left her. Apparently, he was breeding a whole family on the side. So one day he got up and left. If he had just left her, that would have been okay. First of all, she was pregnant when he left. Secondly, they had a joint account, which he had cleared out completely. And she had put her home, he had used her home as collateral for loans. So he had gotten so many loans in her name, he left her with really bad credit and in debt. She lost her home and everything, so she had to move in with her mom. She was so distraught. We had to take turns in watching over her so she doesn't do anything bad to herself. However, she was really obsessed with getting closure. She wanted to confront him, but she didn't know where he went. So anyway, one day her sister comes back and says to her that he was spotted in a big city at a supermarket with his wife and a kid, and they were doing grocery shopping, which means he lived somewhere around the corner. About 2 weeks later, she gathered money together and she was going to go to the big city. Like I said, she was obsessed with confronting him. She just wanted to know what happened. Like, she really, really loved him. So she couldn't believe it was all a business transaction for him. Anyway, when she got to the city, the plan was to stay for just about 2 weeks, hoping to run into him, right? So she was going to frequent the supermarket every day, just hoping to run into him, hoping they would come back to buy something else from the store. So she was there. 2 weeks turned into a month. A month was going into 2 months. She couldn't afford to stay at the small hotel she was staying anymore. So she started to walk around every day trying to get a job. Eventually, she got a job at a pharmacy. Don't forget, she used to be a scrub nurse. So anyway, she got a job at a pharmacy and she started to work there. One of her colleagues happened to be a medical student, and eventually convinced her. At this point, she had been there for about 4 months. So convinced her to enroll in medical school. So the colleague spoke to the management of the pharmacy, and somehow they stood as shorty for her. So she picked up extra shifts here and there, and she went to medical school. This was years back. The last I heard about her, which was a few years ago, she had become a surgical attendant in a very, very prestigious hospital. Now, was her husband a knight in shining armor? Absolutely not. He was a very wicked, evil person with a knife hidden behind his back. However, he was also a destiny helper, because if he hadn't done that to her, she never would have realized her dream. Today, she's a neurosurgeon, But anyway, you may not know about my friend, You must have heard about Joseph, the son of Jacob, in the Christian religion. Now, if you're not familiar with their story, please look it up. Now, Joseph must have thought it was the end of the world when his own siblings sold him out to slavery, like a lot of us do when something bad happens or when we experience a setback, right? And like that wasn't bad enough. Just when he thought he was in a better position at Potiphar's house as his personal attendant, Potiphar had handed everything over to him. So he thought it was good, life was okay. And Potiphar's wife seduced him. And when he refused to accept, she lied on him and falsely accused him, and he ended up in jail, just when he thought things were good. Now, anybody paying attention to Joseph's story would have thought, oh my God, Joseph is such bad luck. Either bad luck is following him or something bad, or his lineage or his village people or something that after him. But no, he was just in training for the greatness that was ahead of him, the greatness he was about to attain. Thing is, there's no possible way he could have gotten to Pharaoh's palace or attained the position as the second in command in the entire Egypt, straight from his father's house. He had to go through the route he went through to meet the people he met, the baker, the butler. He had to receive training in discipline and strength, training in acceptance, training in forgiveness to get to Pharaoh. The bigger the setback, the greater the glory. It's like the bow and arrow effect. The further back you pull back the bowstrings, the higher and further the arrow goes. Now, your knight in shiny armor may not take all your problems away. They may add to it. They may even cause chaos and confusion and destruction in your life. But that setback is designed to propel you towards your destiny. They are your helpers. In history, no man has ever experienced the level of setback that Jesus experienced, which is why no man can ever attain the level of greatness that Jesus has. His crucifixion is the foundation of the Christian faith. And according to the Christian religion, you cannot get to the Father except through the Son. So, you may have experienced setbacks and difficult times, and you're down, and you feel all hope is lost. But my question to you is this: how bad is it? Maybe you've experienced losses. You lost a job, you lost your home, you lost money, and you're trying to stay afloat. Don't give up. Because you may be in training to own a company, to own a business. And that comes with perks, right? A bigger home, more money. Maybe like Joseph, you were betrayed by trusted people, falsely accused, sold out to slavery. You shouldn't lose hope. You may be in training to attain the position of a king, a position of power and authority. Or like Jesus, people have tried to crucify you, destroy your name, your reputation, your livelihood, your finances, your entire existence, so you can give up on life, crawl away and just disappear, or even do something bad to yourself, because life is not worth living anymore. You should rise in faith, because you may be in training to be seen and heard across nations. The bigger the setback, the greater the glory. Namaste.